Sometimes the value of a product is that it signals something about your personal values, your identity, the community that you identify with. And we can see that in physical products specifically. We're going to look at an example of Taylor Swift and Ariana Grande and how they present the value propositions of their music in terms of buying their CDs, buying their vinyls, their merch, and things like that, and how they are conveying that having these items, buying these items, supporting these artists is actually an act of individualism. And that's the real value proposition of buying something that you can get for free or you can get digitally. I think it's particularly interesting that things like vinyl have come back in fashion, even though people don't have record players. So they are buying these items purely decoratively or to signal when someone comes to their house and they have this item on display, something about their personal values, their individualism, their identity, their community. And that is what makes these products worth buying. When it comes to the price and the pricing of these kinds of products and these kinds of value propositions, it is much more that the price reflects the cost of being in the community rather than the price reflecting the costs of manufacture or the cost of the physical item itself. So I have the home pages of Taylor Swift's shop and Ariana Grande's shop, and we're just going to go through these together now. We'll start with Taylor. She has so many pricing propositions, things at play that it's really interesting to break down. So the first thing is the top of Taylor Swift's website has a banner that shows a countdown. These screenshots were taken when she released her album. The countdown provides a sense of urgency, which is one way to convince people to buy things that they otherwise might not buy, especially an impulse buy. The next interesting thing about Taylor Swift's pricing is that the vinyl is $30, the CD is $12.99, and the cassette is $19.99. The most functional of these items, which is the CD, the one that people are most likely actually going to be able to use, is the cheapest. So buying a more expensive item that you don't have the ability to actually use means that the value proposition of owning that item is in the status signal or the community signal rather than the actual product itself. I also want to go into product descriptions here, specifically on the sweatshirt that she has. So here's the screenshot of the page specifically for the sweatshirt. And let's just zoom in on this description. Black long sleeve crew neck featuring photo of Taylor Swift with orange shimmer border printed on front, album logo and track list printed in orange shimmer on mint green graphic on back, and album logo printed in orange shimmer and mint green down sleeves. Mint glitter gift box with foil, TS logo printed on top. CD. The Life of a Showgirl crew neck sweatshirt has a drop shoulder and relaxed fit. 80% cotton, 20% polyester, machine wash collared, tumble dry low. What we don't get in this product description that you would usually see in apparel is more of an emphasis on the quality of materials, the quality of the garment itself. And instead we have an emphasis on the print, the images, the fact that it's Taylor Swift, the fact that this is part of a more exclusive box set. And so really what we're being told in this description is, again, the value that we're getting is not in the value of the item itself. It is in the fact that this is exclusive, that this is limited time, that if you have this, you are in the top X% of fans. And really it's, again, a status signal. Okay, let's now take a look at Ariana Grande's store. So first of all, her webpage is actually a lot longer. One thing I do like about Taylor's website is that it completely transforms depending on the era she's in. Ariana has done that as well. Obviously, the aesthetic of the website is all matching the aesthetic of the upcoming album at this point. But one thing she does really well before we get into the detail of it is down the bottom, she includes links to previous eras, the remaining stock, and other items that you can get. So if you wanted to, do a big haul and get lots of items from lots of eras, you could. Whereas the Life of a Showgirl version of Taylor's website is very, very focused. At the time of filming this, none of the new music from Ariana has come out yet. So all of this is pre-order. We've got the limited edition 7-inch vinyl for the single in a few different colors. We have CDs, digital albums, and she also has a cassette. The vinyl is cheaper than what Taylor's was, but again, it's a single, not an album. So it's $14.99 for the single in the vinyl. It's $3.99 for a CD. And interestingly, the cassette is actually the same price as Taylor's. It's $19.99. That probably is telling us that it costs $20 to produce a cassette rather than it's $20 worth of music. So maybe we do have cost of manufacturing involved here. We do also have the pre-order for the entire album, which is $32.99 for the vinyl. So it's a little bit more expensive than Taylor's. To make this a fair comparison, we're going to look at a hoodie from Ariana as well. As you can see here, it's actually very empty of description. We've got the shipping date, screen printed graphics on front and sleeve, puff print logo on front, and then that's really all the information that we get about it. If we were to look at something like Uniqlo, you would have potentially the origin of the materials in terms of like where it comes from. The Taylor had, 80% cotton. Ariana doesn't have that. So again, what are we actually paying 85 American dollars for? The right to say that you're a mega fan and you have the disposable income to spend on something like this. So it is, again, a status signal. To avoid starting any fan wars, I'm also going to go over another physical product that is status signal in terms of its value proposition. And we're going to have a look at how that plays out. So what you see here is a set of 9 ice cubes with flowers in them. And it retails for $75 American. That is almost $10 per ice cube. The ice cube is a 2x2 by 2 inch square, so it's not giant. It's not a carved swan made out of ice. What we have here is another example of, if you own this thing, what you are signaling to people is that you have disposable income, that you have a certain level of taste, that you live in a certain lifestyle, that you have certain social circles where this kind of thing is appreciated, that you throw events fancy enough for this kind of thing. I do think this is most likely being ordered by companies, not necessarily individuals, for private events and things like that. But let's have a look at how they are selling 9 ice cubes for $75 and how they're justifying that price. So the description reads, tiny floating floral arrangements, seasonal, that's a good word, white and green botanicals carefully arranged within 2-inch cubes, created using our proprietary process of suspending objects within ice. Botanicals have a white and green mix. Notably, you also have to live within a certain distance of the production of the ice cubes so that they don't melt. But what we're seeing here in the description is that seasonal means they are made regularly, they are most likely handmade. They have some sort of curation of what actually goes in the ice cubes so that it's matching what season you're in. There's a bit more effort than just like a factory setting, generic, everyone gets the same thing. It also probably means that you could request specific things, which you would probably have to pay more for. And then proprietary process. As soon as something is proprietary, it means that there's a level of innovation happening in the product where, because they are the only people who can do it, they can demand a certain price. If you want this thing and only one provider has it, you are hostage to however much they want you to pay. There's some more details here as well that I want to go into. So they recommend that you have a certain size of glassware to fit the ice cubes themselves. They have requirements for pickup, delivery, and shipping. And for large and custom orders, they have a separate ordering process. They also do have different ice cubes and different things in them. So they've got chilies, wabi-sabi cubes, they have spears. There's a variety here. I actually do think this is a really cool product. I probably wouldn't buy it, but if I went to an event and it had this, I would be very impressed. So all of this is to say that the price of an item and the pricing of an item are two different things. The price is the dollar amount, whereas the pricing is actually the strategy of how it's being sold, how it's being positioned, how value propositions are assigned to an item, and how that's used to sell it. Pricing comes across in product descriptions, in website layouts, if it's e-commerce, in things like what you're actually highlighting in the description and what you're leaving out. Pricing is also a part of your brand. So everything that your customer sees before they actually see the price will go towards building an expectation within them of how much it's going to be. And so you can preempt them for something like a premium price versus a really low price. If you want to do a premium pricing, everything before that also needs to match that expectation. So having, in this case, Taylor Swift and Ariana Grande have decade-long careers where they've built expectation. If you are just starting out with an e-commerce or something like that, and you are trying to go into a premium category, my recommendation would be to really invest in the experience of your website, the quality of your brand. If you have something like AI generated brand, that comes across as cheap versus expensive custom photography with models, with an outdoor set, that kind of thing. If you are using AI generated product imagery, that again will come across as something where you're expecting the price to be a bit cheaper. So really think about what category you want to be in, all the way from, below market rate to extreme premium, and make sure that your journey for the customer matches the entire way along.